Hello everyone. So I just want to do a really quick overview of this Creality Ender 3 3D printer. For $229, I just want to straight up say this thing is amazing. Now, I dabbled a little bit in 3D printing a few years ago when I think a printer like this would cost at least $1,000 or $1,500. So now a couple of years later, I wanted to get back into it. I looked at the prices and they just seemed way too low. For $229, you get this thing here. And I just want to say that for any normal user, for any house gadget, for basic repairs, for anything that's not ultra fine print or does not need two nozzles, this is all you ever need. This is the same printer you'd get for $1,000 to $1,500 a couple of years ago. It's easy to use. It's pretty standard. All the parts you can get separately. And one other thing I just want to say that you do have to build it when you get it. And when you get the box, it's a little intimidating. At first, I opened the box and I was like, shoot, I'm going to spend a couple hours building this. Except it took me just about an hour with my kid watching me and grabbing random things and getting in the way. So it was actually very easy to build. A few other things to point out. Here's just some random stuff I printed. Some of it is actually a lower quality. For example, this is lower quality. I built this, I did a first test print. So it has various quality levels. I don't know if you can see that. But overall, the quality is subpar with any standard 3D printer that you may expect. As always, the material is very strong. It's easy to set up, and the only real difficulty is leveling the bed. So my advice is as soon as the print is done, is you unclip it, you remove the top cover, and you take the print off. That way you really don't want to disturb the bed. You want to have it set to a perfect level. And that way every time you're using it, it's good to go. Because it really is a little bit of a pain to get the bed leveled. Because even if it's like a tiny little bit up or down on one side, it can screw up your print. So just be aware of that. Now, just I'm trying to think of any other 2 cents. This is the point of this video is really just if anyone's on the fence and they're wondering, is this thing really worth it? It really is. If you just need random 3D printed parts for, I don't know, automotive, boat, house, IKEA clips, shelf clips, any random thing that you may possibly need, this is perfect. It works absolutely great. Just want to give a quick showing of how I start up the prints usually. So I'm just going to turn it on. Let's take this thing off. It's about time to get the plastic off. I'm not one of those people who usually keeps the plastic on for the entire life of the device. Come on, do this while holding the phone. Alright. So normally, when I start up a print, I just go to prepare, and I do go to auto home, which has the printer find its home location. And after this, what you can do, I used to do this, actually, I recently haven't, but you can do preheat, PLA, or ABS. This will get the device essentially to a level that's, for example, 185. It's basically getting it ready. But you don't really need to do this. After this, at this point, you can print right from the SD card, or you can change it to TF card, which will just refresh the card if you insert it. So if anyone's looking for where the card is, it is right there. One really quick tip. It's a little weird, but there is a slot above the card where the card goes. So just be careful because you can kind of stick it into this box without sticking it into the correct slot. So just when you're inserting it, be careful that it's actually going into the slot and not into just a random hole above the slot. And this really is it. I'm going to turn it off now. It's important to get the bed leveled correctly. But overall, this device is very, very easy to get started with. I've been printing PLA at around 195 to 200 degrees. And I can kind of share some of my profile settings. I use Cura, the Cura software, to slice my images. And I've been using Tinkercad to make my designs. Tinkercad is a kind of a very, very basic 3D modeling program, but it's available online and it's accessible anywhere, and it's in a browser. It is very limited, but you can actually make surprisingly complex shapes with it. And one thing I like about it is that since it's in a browser, I can work on my model anywhere. If I have a couple minutes here or there, I can work on it at a friend's house, on my computer, pretty much anywhere. So I do recommend Tinkercad in that sense. Other than that, the device is very good, simple to build, feels sturdy, but I've looked online, there's tons of 3D printed things you can make to upgrade this, from belts that hold the cables, to one of the things I mean to do is to new knobs that level the bed. But there's just endless amounts of stuff you can look at and print for the printer. This is something I think is very important, because if you're spending $230, I know it's not a lot of money, but you want some continuity and some future to your device. You don't want to just, if this breaks, you don't want your device to be essentially trash. You want to be able to fix it, do anything with it, and have it continue working. And this is one thing I really like about this device. It feels like it will continue working for a long time. And for this price, it's really incredible. The things you can do for $230, it really is hard to believe that you can just create things like this. So once again, this isn't really a detailed review. If anyone has any questions, I will answer them. But it's really, if you're on the fence and you're wondering, is this junk or is this actually worth it? It's totally worth it.